Animated, animated, animated,
Animated Sage Thoughts.
Woo, it's been a minute, man. Welcome back to the Animated Sage Thoughts podcast. I'm Animated Mel, or you can just call me Mel. And this is Sage, or you can just call him Chris.
You can call me Mr. Wisdom.
Mr. Anywho, Sage has wisdom and all that jazz, but yeah, man, you all seen the introduction to this, so hopefully by now you understand what the thesis or the basis of this podcast is going to be about. So with all that being said, we're going to get started with the intro, well, the show.
Let's get the show rolling, baby.
Let's get it rolling like Donkey Kong going down the hill. But anywho, how's your week been, man?
Dude, on the way home last night, I got hit by a car.
You got hit by a car?
My car got hit by a car.
What?
Yeah.
Was it the Camaro or the
Nah, the Maxima. Yeah, I was
What?
Yeah, I was getting on the 360, and this dude, you know how sometimes you look at your rearview mirror, you could tell somebody's being like aggressive. So I needed to get over to the left-hand lane, and I could tell, like, as soon as he got a chance, he was going to try and go around me. And so I didn't want to get caught in the right-hand lane because, it turns, it veers off. So as soon as I got a chance, I just went over in the left-hand lane. Nothing crazy, just put my blinker on, whatever. He comes up behind me, speeding. I was probably doing like maybe 60, 65. He was probably doing about 80. So he comes speeding up behind me and then sideswipes me from the back, right? So I honk my horn because it just shocks me, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Bruh.
I saw the dude and I knew what he was going to do, but he shouldn't have sideswiped me. So I honk the horn. He pulls over. It takes him a while to get out. I'm already out looking at the damage on the car. I thought my side view mirror was messed up or whatever, but fortunately my side view mirror, it pushes forward and it pushes back, so when you hit it, it just folded in instead of breaking or cracking. And I really didn't have much damage at all. It was just it's just paint, so I think I'll just be able to get it buffed out or whatever. But he gets out the car and he walks over. He's like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. Are you all right?" You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Yeah, I'm all right." And I'm like, "So you sideswiped me?" He was like, "I was in the left-hand lane." I'm like, "What does that have to do with anything? Like, you sideswiped me." He was like, "I was in the left-hand lane." I'm like, "Why do you keep saying that? That has nothing to do with you sideswiping me. Like, oh, it's okay to sideswipe somebody if you're in the left-hand lane."
I was in the left-hand lane, so it's all good to sideswipe you.
I said, "Dude, how did I hit you and you came up from behind me? Like, I can't hit you from in front."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So eventually, he just started telling me random stuff like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming from Grand Prairie," and I'm like, "Why do I care? Like, that doesn't matter to me."
Yo, I hit your car. Yo, I'm coming from Grand Prairie.
It's like he started trying to explain himself or something. Like, "Dude, you clearly have been drinking." I'm like, so I said, "Do you have insurance?" He's like, "Yeah, I got insurance." I'm like, "All right, well, get your insurance, and I'm gonna put a claim in." He's like, "Well, call the cops and do whatever you want." And I'm like, "You're drunk. You want me to call the cops?
Yeah.
Like, are you serious?" He's like, "Man, just do whatever you got to do." I said, "Well, I'm trying to give you a break. That doesn't look like there's much damage. So just give me your insurance. I'll take pictures and I'll put the claim in." He's like, "All right, I'll get my insurance. You get yours too." I said, "No, I'm not getting my insurance. You hit me. My insurance will never know this happened. My rates aren't going to go up because you hit me."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So finally he goes and gets his insurance. And I'm like, okay, this dude, I don't know. Like, I don't know if he's going to try and play me. Like, I'm trying to be the nice guy, you know what I mean? Give him a break.
Bruh.
I started recording him. So I just recording him just admitting that he was wrong. And, I told him I was going to be putting the claim in tomorrow and blah, 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 blah. And so today I called him and I called him and I was like, "Oh crap, I don't know what his name is." So I hung up real quick to look to see what his name was. And before I even was able to call him back, he was calling me. He was like, "Hey Chris, what's going on?" He's like, did you find out how much the damage was yet? I was surprised. I didn't even think he was going to remember me. Because the way he was acting, Like, it just seemed like I don't know. It just seemed like he was just drunk.
Did you smell any alcohol on him?
I smelled cologne. I didn't really smell alcohol.
What time of day was it?
12 at night.
Yeah, okay.
And he was speeding. He was like, I was working on my friend's car. I don't know. But the way he was talking and the way he was acting, the dude was drinking. He had been drinking. You know what I mean? Either that or he was on something. Like, something wasn't right. Regardless, the cops were going to give him a DWI or whatever. You don't have to, be drinking to get a DWI.
Yeah.
So I just asked him before he left. I was like, yo, how far do you have to go home? He's like, 2 miles. I'm almost home. I'm like, all right. You know what I mean? And I let him ride out. But he seemed to be cooperative. He was like, I want to make this right. He was like, just let me know how much the damage is because I want to avoid filing a claim. And I was like, okay, I figured that. And I was like, it looks like it's just going to be paint, buffing it out and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to get a quote maybe this weekend or Monday or whatever. And I'll see how much it's going to cost to just buff the whole car out, wash it up, clean it out. You know what I'm saying? I got there's a spot on the front. I'm going to see if they throw that in there, see how much it's going to cost.
You're going to be looking at the entire car like, yeah, by the way, this part of the car is messed up too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to just see. I'm going to get the quote for the whole car and see if it's nothing outrageous. Because here's the thing. I just saved him $10,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
you could have been like, yo, my back hurt, my neck hurt, I ain't feeling too good.
Oh, yeah, easily. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to beat him over the head, but I did do him a solid. You know what I mean? And I'm going to see how much the damage is.
Yeah.
I'm going to see how much it is to do the whole car. You know what I mean? Like, just clean the whole car up. And I think, he deserves to pay for the whole car.
Whole car?
Just to get it cleaned and waxed and stuff.
Man.
That's what they're going to do anyway, right? Like, they're not going to just buff out that one area. They're going to clean the whole car.
I don't know. I've never had, like, cosmetic stuff done to my car, but that is crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, you got hit. That's crazy.
I've never been hit before.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, and here's the funny thing. John was
with you?
No. Last weekend when Steve was here.
Oh, okay.
John came in the house one day. He was like, did your car get hit? And I'm like, what? No. What are you talking about?
Nissan?
Yeah. And he was like, okay, because it looks like the paint is kind of like chipping off. I guess he thought maybe I got hit and the paint was chipping. I was like, nah, that's the Texas sun. I think maybe a rock like hit it. And then from there, the paint kind of bubbled up and started. The clear coat came off. The paint is still intact.
Right.
I'm like, man, did he just put that voodoo on my car?
Dude, he spoke it into existence.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
It's crazy.
But at least he wasn't like, I thought, I was thinking, well, you told me like he's going to get insurance. I thought he's going to get the car and drive off or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
that would have been like, yo, I'm just trying to get you a break and you drive off. That would have been crazy, especially if he was like drunk or whatever.
Well, that wouldn't have been smart because I got his license plate. Like, I'm in a car, he's in a car. He's in a minivan. I'm in the Maxima, the 4-door sports car. He's not going to get away from me.
Yeah.
So I got his license plate. That's the first thing I did. And then I left my car running the whole time in case he tried to pull that.
Was he going to chase him or something?
Yeah. just out GP because it's like, dude, like, it's not that serious. I'm being cool with you. You could tell by the way I was talking to you, I'm being cool with you. I'm not trying to get you in any trouble.
Yeah.
So, even if he was an illegal, you know what I'm saying, I would still just be like, yo, just pay me for it. I don't have to go through the cops. I don't have to go through insurance. Just pay me for it. I'm okay. You're okay. It's no harm, no foul. Just pay me for it.
What was his name?
Dude, I have no idea.
Did he give you a business card or something?
I got his insurance. So when when I was about to call him, he called me back before I even really got to look at it. Oh, there's no way I can pronounce this.
Don't say his last name.
I'm not going to say his. I can't pronounce it.
Let me see.
It's 2 names on there. It's probably him and his wife.
Oh, is he like Arabic or something?
Yeah. He's Middle Eastern.
It's Fali. That's what his name is.
It's Fali?
Yeah.
I'm terrible with pronunciation.
I don't know. That's crazy.
Man, there's no way. I could put it into Google. You type the name into Google and be like, how to pronounce this name, and it'll.
You ever like pronounce?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Dude, for somebody like me, I got to use that. I can't pronounce anybody's names, and I be having clients. You know what I'm saying? So like, you don't hear their name. They just say what they type it, and I put it in Google like, how you pronounce this?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to mess someone's name up.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it is, one of my clients, I was looking at her name, and I'm like, I can't remember what her name is now, but I said her name out loud, and I'm like, okay, that sounds right. Let me just check in Google, right?
Yeah.
So I put her name in Google, and it pronounces it a different way. So when I call her, I'm like, hi, I'm looking for such and such. She's like, hey, Chris, it's actually whatever. And it was the way that I had pronounced it.
So you can't trust.
I can't even trust Google.
Man, they have a robot that has a freaking a system that teaches. Man, they don't know. Man, you can't trust can't trust the Googles all the time, man.
Dude, you can't trust Google.
But that's crazy. Well, aside from you getting into a car accident or someone hitting you, sideswiping you, how's your week been? Any other crazy
I mean,
events
it's
happening?
always crazy stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? Like at work, I work in a small, it's a 3-man cell, foreman and 2 electricians.
You're an electrician.
Yeah.
Just for those who don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing a school, and
You're wiring stuff for a school. You're doing a school, or you're building a school, or you
I'm
doing lighting and electricity.
So when it comes to construction, there's 10 different trades, 15 different trades.
Yeah.
No one trade builds the school,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So we all say we're building a school. That's just, and if you're an electrician, what you're talking about is putting in transformers, putting in lights. Right now I'm putting in emergency ballasts for lights in the school, and we're going to be setting transformers probably early June or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's when I say I'm building a school, the school's actually already built. So we're technically, I don't even think it's a renovation. We're just doing some upgrades. But so it's me, one other electrician, and my foreman.
Yeah.
Well, the other electrician I work with, real cool dude, but he's literally always leaving work. Like he's always either leaving work, coming in late, or not coming in at all.
For what?
We don't know. He doesn't. Okay, so like my foreman, he gets one story. I get a different story, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know that
Story is, what does that mean? Like
What,
levels?
like,
You
huh?
talking about levels?
No. Like he'll tell my foreman
different
one
story.
thing.
I'm stupid. I'm thinking you're talking about levels of the freaking. Okay.
No, man.
Yeah. Different stories. I got you.
Yeah. So he'll tell my foreman one thing. He'll tell me something else. He could be lying to both of us.
Right.
You know, I feel like he's telling me the truth, but also my foreman feels like he's telling him the truth too.
Yeah.
So, you know, last week he left early. He's going to a little party in Louisiana, I think it was. Well, he told my foreman he was leaving early, and I knew my foreman was going to be pissed. He gets pissed. Like if you leave early, if you come in late, or if you don't show up, he's pissed. It doesn't matter what the reason. I told him I want to go out of town for my mom's birthday. My mom's birthday, right? He's like, well, when is it? I'm like, well, I'm leaving on the 24th, right?
Yeah.
So that's like a Thursday, which means you won't have me for 2 days.
Right.
He's like, well, can't you just do it a different weekend?
It's the freaking birthday.
You want me to change her birthday? How can I do that?
Yeah.
Like, so anyway, he leaves early last week. Monday, he doesn't come in at all. Doesn't show up at all. Doesn't call, doesn't text, nothing. And my foreman, he's just pissed. Like, so he calls my the project manager, and the project manager's like, oh man, he's doing that again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this is like his MO. Like he just doesn't show up. That's just what he does.
Right.
And so Tuesday he comes in, and my foreman's like, I'm glad he came in, because if he didn't come in, I was gonna fire him. And I'm just like, all right, whatever, you know. And so he comes in, works. He might have worked for 2 hours. He might have worked.
Dude, what the hell?
He might have worked for 2 hours, and he left. Here's the thing that's funny about it. He texted me after he left. Like, my foreman left to go to Home Depot to get some supplies.
Yeah.
He texts me after he already left. Like, he had left the parking lot. He was like, hey, I got an important phone call, had to leave. I'm like, you couldn't have just told me that when you was picking up your tools? Like it's so shady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy because, like, our job is so laid back. It's night shift, and the foreman, he's pretty cool for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, and even our project man, everybody is cool. I mean, like, it's just so laid back, and we get scale, which means we get a bump in our pay rate.
Right.
And dude is just like, he's throwing it away. Whatever, I don't care.
Man. How long has he been, I guess, working there?
He's probably about 7 months, 8 months in the game, and he's got a raise coming up. I'm just like, I don't get it. He's been talking about leaving to go to a different company.
So that's probably what he's doing there.
Right.
He's probably like trying to, get his foot in another door, and he's one foot in and 1 foot out. You know?
Right.
So, I mean, I guess that makes sense why he's freaking leaving, get these mistakes. Or he could be a superhero, but, I doubt
That's also, that's also, yeah, I think he's going to be moving on to a different company. The thing about our trade, especially here in Texas, we got work.
Yeah, but it's probably because there's so much freaking construction here.
So much construction.
Like just riding up and down freaking. I'm horrible with highways, but just riding up and down the highways up in Texas, you just see constructions and buildings and all these freaking monuments being built and stuff like that. So yeah, man, easy work and stuff like that. But that's cool, man. Sounds like you had an interesting week so far.
My week's always interesting, man. What's going on with you, man? What's new?
Well, I started my YouTube. I started my other YouTube channel, the animated universe of Mel.
Okay.
Because I use it so much, so
Right.
to do my reactions again, and people are like, "Yo, oh man, I'm glad you're doing reactions again. Nice to see your channel up again, man. I've missed you and stuff like that." So I mean, that's dope. I got I've had it up for a week. And I got 206 subscribers in a week. Yeah, it's okay. Last time I had my revamped channel, it was 1,000 in a week.
Right.
So, but this is I'm not doing any promotion or anything
Right.
like that.
You
And plus, this Dragon Ball's done, so
Right.
I'm not doing any Dragon Ball except for the English dub or whatever. But I've been working on that, which actually helps. It makes me feel better because at one point in time I was just like, man.
Yeah, I know.
What am I doing in life?
I know.
What am I doing in life? Even though I'm working and still doing miscellaneous things and other things that I'm working towards, it's just I felt demotivated to do stuff just because something that I genuinely enjoy is done. I can't do it. Especially since I had almost 10,000 subs or whatever. But
yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
I felt bad for you. I could tell your energy was real low.
Yeah, it sucks. But I mean, it is what it is. Usually I'm able to brush things off but then I'll think about it but it is what it is. I ain't tripping.
That's so much work. You still got but you got the old videos, some of them, but you're not going to put them up, right?
Not the Dragon Ball. I don't have a lot of them. I just deleted them. Because I usually just to save space on my computer, I just delete it. Okay.
Man, you should have plenty of space on that computer.
Yeah, I do, but I don't. The thing is, I don't like clutter, and I don't like to have too much of nothing. If it's up there, I'm not gonna freaking keep it. There's no point, except for videos that have me in it, like us doing stuff,
right?
Like the ticket lottery thing. I have that,
right.
Or whatever, because that was deleted.
Wait, YouTube deleted it?
Because it was on the channel.
Oh, it was on that page.
Everything's done. You know what I
mean?
Okay. So
dude, what about the YBM World?
Anything that was
videos that on that channel?
Anything that was on YBM's World is gone.
100% gone? You don't have it at all?
Your channel, a healthy alternative. Videos that come out every once a week. You got 15,000 subscribers now in the Facebook group that's prospering.
It's 18,000.
18,000 is. You got 18,000 in the Facebook group.
No, I have 18,000. I have 18,000 on YouTube. I have almost 10,000 on Facebook.
Okay.
It's 8,000.
Okay. So if whatever you put on your healthy alternative, If they delete that channel, every video that you put on there is gone. So every video that I ever put on YBM's World is gone.
Right. No, well, I was asking if you still had it, because on your hard drive.
Have what?
The videos on your hard.
Not all the videos. I have some. I just told
The
you.
videos of us.
Yes, I just said that.
I'm confirming. Golly, why you make it so
I
difficult?
just said that. I said I have all the videos of us.
I'm just
But
confirming.
the videos of me doing reactions are gone.
I'm just confirming. Those are the precious ones,
Yeah.
man. We had some good times.
Yeah, I mean the precious ones. I have a backup disc or a WD whatever, a freaking separate hard drive.
All right,
yeah,
calm
separate hard
down.
drive. Whatever. I couldn't think of the word. But yeah, it's all that stuff I got.
You still got footage you never released.
Yeah, I got a lot of footage I didn't release.
Man, what you gonna do with that? You just
I don't know, man. Maybe if I ever have kids, you know what I mean? But yo, you know what I mean? Watch this real quick.
just for the kids?
Yeah, you
I
know.
mean, you got footage that obviously I was there, but I mean, shoot, I want you to put that together in something, man.
There's some footage you don't want me to put
Yes,
up.
there's some footage I don't want you to put up there. There's certain footage. There's certain footage.
Yeah.
There's certain footage on our friendship that you should have deleted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Because it's good to
No.
watch.
No, it's not.
It is not to you, but for me, it's a good moment. You know what I mean? Let's imagine 10 years from now, if you was to see this video, I mean, you would probably
It's probably be worse 10 years from now.
no, because you would see how much you've grown. And
I
how,
can see how much I've grown.
Yeah, but still, it would be right in front of you. Like, oh, I
Whatever.
don't do that no more. You know what I mean?
Whatever.
And you see, we speaking vaguely about it because I'm not putting it out there.
You know, the funny thing about it is there's plenty of times where you've done things.
like what?
Oh, plenty.
Please.
I'm not going to say anything.
I have no problem because everything.
Because you know I don't have footage of it. Because, see, I'm a real friend. I'm not going to record you.
There's zero footage that you have of me doing anything.
Exactly, because I'm not going to record you in your time. I do have a little footage.
What? Are you talking about when I went in PA and my hands were bleeding? That was funny,
That
but
was
I
wild.
remember that.
It doesn't matter if you remember it or not.
But that entire thing was hilarious. But
That
I
was
was
wild.
19 and it was my first time dealing with freaking Bacardi Limon.
Do you remember how you cut your fingers?
Yeah, we were playing that little foosball stuff, the foosball table stuff, and I couldn't, like, I was losing, and then I was like, and I guess something on the foosball table cut my hands or whatever, and then they started bleeding. I didn't know they were bleeding or whatever, and then, you know, I was being crazy and doing whatever I was doing, and then I was on the couch. And then, you know, blood got all on the couch or whatever. I
think it was on the carpet, too.
I'm not sure if it was on the carpet. If it was, I know it's more visible on the couch.
Yeah.
Because I guess Tyler
Tyler.
had just bought that couch.
Yeah.
And it was just like, Tyler came home that night. He was like, what is this? This blood? Like, what is this on the couch? It was just blood everywhere. I was just like, Tyler. Like, I don't, you know, it was like, when I wake up in the morning, this blood better be gone. he gave me that parent talk, and like I felt, even though I was drunk, I still felt it. I was just like, all right, I get it. I was cleaning up, drunk, you know. But I'm okay with that because it's funny. And it's just because that night, that entire freaking night, I put your car in reverse. I tore Steve's chain that he had.
Ooh, that was a nice
and
chain.
that was.
Oh, was that the one I gave him?
I don't know if you gave him, but it was a chain he had. We were at, this was my birthday weekend. This was my birthday weekend because we were going to New York to meet up with Sandra. And remember, that's when Sandra got, like, she didn't show up. She got mad or something like that because I was late. And then we went out with Rachel and her friend.
Was that week?
It was that exact week.
You didn't see Rachel, Sandra at all that weekend?
No.
I thought we did see her at the end. Rachel's friend was feeling you.
Yeah, I don't know. But anywho, hold on. Before we get there, I want to finish my thought. But because we were at that night, it was some friends of Steve's that we went over their house. And do you remember this at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
No. I'm just making it because you was giving me that look like, what are you talking about? But no, we were because it was two girls. One, she liked me, and she was trying to get me drunk.
Right.
She was trying to get me
She wanted
drunk.
to take advantage of you.
You know, and then this was my first time ever drinking Bacardi Limon.
Oh, no, I know.
This is my first time ever. So we went over their house or whatever, and, you know, we started drinking, taking a few shots and stuff like that. And then it started taking over. Like, I felt it like I was losing control. I was just like, what is going on? Like, I was aware of what was going on, but I just couldn't control myself, man. And then, like, I was fixing the blinds that were falling. And
What? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
and I just couldn't stop like transforming that type stuff, man. So, but yeah, man, that was like I think I was turning 20, either 19 or 20. I think I was turning 20 that day.
I was 24, I think, around that time.
No, you had to be 23. If I was turning 20, no, you was 22. Because if I was turning 20, you was 22. Because you're 3 years older than me.
Okay, 22 might be right. Yeah, 24 might have been when I was in Delaware.
And yeah, and then all that stuff happened. First I tore Steve's chain. Then we were driving and Steve wanted to get in the front. I was like, fuck that. I ain't getting in the front. I mean, I ain't getting in the back. You getting in the front. You know what I mean? And
oh my God, that was such a...
and I got in the back and then I stayed in the front. And then you were driving and then you were driving. I was just like, in my mind, this is what I was thinking. I was like, what will happen if I put the car in reverse while you're driving? But I didn't put the car in reverse. I just grabbed the thing. What's it called? The thing?
Gear shifter?
Yeah, whatever. The gear shifter. I pulled that bad boy and it went in neutral. It went in neutral. And I guess you were pressing the gas and didn't move. And then you hit it back in reverse so the car stopped. And then you tried to go and it wouldn't. And then you was just like, what the hell? I was just like, take the key out the car, restart the car, and it'll be good. You did that and everything.
You're missing a part. You're missing the part where it made that terrible sound when it went in reverse.
I didn't hear that sound.
Yeah, we probably didn't. It was a I was like, oh my God.
I didn't hear that sound, so that's.
By the way, this was I don't know. It might have been a 2-year-old GTO. So like the GTOs had come out in maybe 2005 or something like that. This was like 2007 or 2008, and I had just got it. I had probably only had the car for maybe a year, if that, but maybe a year and a half at that time. So it's a brand new car.
You had it in New York, right?
I had it in New York, but by the time we got to Pennsylvania, at that point, it had probably been a year, maybe. I can't.
Did you have it in New York?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did. Definitely had.
Yeah, it had been just over a year, and so I'm freaking out. Like I'm like, yo, this brand new car, it's very expensive.
He was like, if anything is wrong with my car, you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for it. I'm just like, relax. Ain't nothing wrong with your car, bro.
Fortunately, the engineers were smart enough to know that people would throw the car in reverse while driving, and they put a safety mechanism, like the car just shuts off.
Yeah,
it's like, oh no, something's happening.
Right. And then from that point on, we drove back to the crib, and then I kept yelling, Christopher! I kept yelling that. And then everyone kept closing their doors on me. Yeah. Everyone closed their freaking doors on me, and I'm just like, Steve. And, you know, Steve tried to close the door. He tried to laugh. He's like, what's up, man? What's up? I went in there, and I remember having, like, this black and white shirt. And this is when I used to wear, like, boxers. Well, I used to wear like sleeping pants under my pants, or whatever.
Right.
Or like gym pants under my pants.
You didn't have boxers on, just the sleeping pants, right?
Well, I had boxers on, the sleeping pants.
Dang.
And then, hey man, back in the day, man, that's how we do it, man. Gang, squat. You know what I mean? But and then that's when, you know, the bloody stuff and all that happened, and then we went to New York. Well, this is not the same day. Then we went to sleep, recovered, cleaned up the blood, and then we went to New York to celebrate my B-Day. I was supposed to meet up with my ex-girlfriend.
She was your girlfriend.
She was my girlfriend at the time, Sandra, but I didn't get there at the particular time or whatever or something, and she got heated because she had a freaking attitude, man. You know, but anyway, she had. I started reminiscing for a moment, but he had an attitude, and she's just like, you're so stupid. Like she was Chinese and she had a Brooklyn accent and she was hood but culture at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like a combination of a lot of things that
Yeah.
you know that we didn't, you know, I guess, you know, agree on. But that was quite the weekend. I don't know how we got there. How do we get to New York? How do we get back to New York?
We drove. Well, I
No.
drove.
I'm talking about this conversation of getting there.
Man, who cares?
We were talking about the week.
So the funny thing is, so we met up with Rachel, and it's so funny because Mel to this day swears Rachel is the baddest girl I ever talked to, and he's like so upset at me and blah blah blah.
She was beautiful.
Rachel was like, I think she was 29 at the time, and I was like 21, 22 when I met her. So I was young boy, and she was on a whole different level.
You know, it's crazy when I think about that.
Yeah, she was a freak too.
And you were trying to be a gentleman and be all nice and wait.
Yep.
Be like, no, she needed somebody about that action.
Yep. I just wasn't ready for Rachel. And it's so
Yo, that's crazy. I never thought about it like that.
yeah, she was an older woman. She's 40 now. She's 40.
No. She's over 40.
Yeah, she's over 40.
She's over 40.
She's almost let's say I'm 33. Let's see. I believe I was 21 when we met. So let's just say that's 8 years.
Yeah.
So she's 8 years older than me.
Wow.
She's 40. I cannot believe it. She probably still cute though.
Yeah, shit. Hey, man, she got those jeans, man. In those jeans. That is crazy, man. But she was beautiful. She I want to say the prettiest girl that I don't know. That you've actually, I mean, you haven't been in many relationships.
What relationship? I wasn't in a relationship with her, Rachel. Either.
Yeah, but she's like the prettiest girl that I've seen and she was
You're
cool.
biased. You're biased though.
I'm biased. Why? Because she was light skinned?
Correct.
No, that's not why. It's just visually. She looked better.
You're talking from the face down.
And she didn't have like a.
She didn't really have no body.
No, she didn't
She's
even
just
have
really pretty. Like from face down, you think she's the baddest?
her.
Girl?
She's beautiful.
Okay.
She was beautiful. Like how I remember her, I'm just like, yo, I want her. You know, that's how you know she was beautiful. You know, yo, I want her.
Yeah, I think she was like Italian and Spanish.
I don't know. She had something, but she was mixed. Her hair was all curly. Anywho, you know, we bigging her up. She probably will never ever see this podcast. But
I mean, we're not bringing her up for her to see the podcast.
like, oh, I remember you. Hey, remember me? She could
I
be-
tried
she could be
to
in the comment
reach
section.
out to her years after, and she wasn't having it.
She wasn't having it.
She was not having
She's
it.
probably in a relationship, man, with
I don't think so, man.
someone who was ready to make a move. You know what I mean?
It makes you wonder, like, what did an older woman like that want with me anyway? You know what I'm saying? That's all she ever could have wanted from me. If I would have just known.
Or, I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, she could have been like a cougar in disguise or whatever. But it's more like, aside from the stamina that comes with dating a young or having sex with a younger person, is also when you're younger is when you're growing into a better man. Like, usually when you're younger or like around 20-ish, you're starting to figure out what you want to do in life. You know, whether you're starting a business or you're, you know, graduating college or whatever that you normally do. You know, so that the allure of having that younger mind, you know, fresher than her 40-year-old plus mind or whatever. You know, I guess the allure of having that younger person is attractive.
Just like molds a young.
At least from a female. I mean, I'm not a woman, but I would assume from a female's perspective on a man, because a guy's perspective, my perspective on dating a younger person is like, oh, this maybe we can do some freaky stuff, you know, because they have yet to explore. At least that's how it was a little bit, kind of, in my situation when I was with Madison. You know, but she. That's a lot of work, man. I guess it depends on the woman or the person.
Of course.
I guess it depends on the person, because it's a lot of work being mature and dealing with a person who's still trying to figure out what they want to do in life, where they want to be, and they don't have that. They didn't get that party phase out of their system,
Right, yeah.
And so they're still gung ho about, I want to go to this party. Okay, all right, go to the party, enjoy yourself.
Go on a rave.
Yeah, you know, and you know, just being irresponsible. So,
Right,
and especially in a long distance type thing. But,
Yeah.
You know, that's a whole nother story.
He had a
but-
double threat, man.
Yeah, but that's a lot to deal with, man. But, yeah, fun times.
Yeah, fun time. We got plenty of stories, man. We got plenty of stories. So what you want to talk about? You want to talk about Kanye or Bill Cosby or
Well, I mean, I'm not. If you want to do Bill, you can do Bill. We can start with Bill. I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening right now in the world and social media.
there's a lot You know what?
What's that?
It's a distraction. Straight up.
I agree.
Oh, it's so much going on right
I agree.
now.
It's a distraction.
I mean, there's between Trump, Cosby, Kanye West, and all the other. It's like the most distracting time in our history. It has to be.
And remember that word, distraction, because I'm going to talk about this other thing a little bit later.
I want to talk. I want to talk about Bill Cosby. This is a super sensitive topic, so I want to talk about.
It's sensitive. Why is it sensitive?
Well, it's sensitive because you're dealing with a crime that is like I would consider rape one of those crimes that's like it's above. You know what I'm saying? It's like because when you're dealing with someone sexually, it's obviously not just a purely physical thing. You know, it's a spiritual mingling, right? So though that type of abuse or whatever that sticks with you, it's got longevity. It's like if I punch you in the stomach, okay, yeah, it hurts for the moment, but the moment passes, your stomach's fine.
It's like Rafiki.
Yeah, sure.
That's what he said. It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
But yeah, with that type of crime, you know, it sticks with somebody. So It's sensitive, right? And so many people have dealt with it in different shapes and forms.
Right.
But there's so much controversy around this case because you're talking about something that started back in the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
And obviously we know that was a different period in time, right?
Yeah.
And everybody knows, everybody understands this. Everybody was peace and love and sex, right? Everyone's doing drugs and it was the norm. They were popping pills. I mean, people popping pills now. So you're talking about a ultra famous guy who, you know, is partying, and we know the allure of the fame and the money and everything. So, you know, there's women who are going to want to be with him just for that reason.
Right.
Now you're talking about a man who's married, and you're talking about women going to his room knowing that he's married, and you know, it's like, what did you expect to happen? I'm not saying you expected to be raped, because that's obviously never on anyone's mind. Right. But did you go there expecting to have sex with him? Is that what you wanted? Then you wait 30 years or 30 years, you wait, and now all of a sudden you're bringing it out?
I think the consensus of that is Bill at that time was, I guess, one of the most powerful entertainers. So even if they were to speak out about it at that time, it would just be thrown under the rug or whatever. So I guess, but I mean, I get what you're saying as far as like, it's freaking like it's like almost half a century ago. Mm-hmm. So why bring it up now? Right. So there has to be some bigger agenda at work. Right. Or there's something in that. I mean, I can look at it from both sides. People being scared to speak out because Absolutely. If they have careers, their careers would be freaking tarnished, or they won't be able to work in the show business because Bill has such control at this period of time, and his persona to the public is like, oh, he's this good guy and who has clean comedy and is very family oriented, has his family show and stuff like that. There's no way that he would be like that. So you're just saying this to tarnish a person that we're representing that's bringing us money. He was the cash cow for them back then, and one of the only, I guess, major black figures, you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I do get what you mean when you say that. But on the conspiracy side of things, it would be things started unraveling towards Bill Cosby because he was going to buy NBC. He was in talkings of buying a network
Right.
an entire network, and he could do it,
Right.
because he had the money, the resources, and everything to do it. And then once he started doing that, that's when all this stuff about these roofie or whatever, what is it, the
Probably roofies. I don't know. I really don't know, honestly.
Quaaludes, that's what they
Quaaludes.
call it. Yeah, the Quaaludes. That's when this started, being brought to light.
Right.
But on the other hand, he kind of brought it back on himself. Because he made a tweet, and he had a picture of himself, and he said, caption this, of like making a meme or whatever. And then someone, the comedian Horace or something like that, Hannibal Boris or something like that, or someone, they made like a meme that was talking about the Quaaludes of like drugging women or something like that. And then from there, that went viral. People retweeted it, and he basically kind of dug himself in his own grave.
I mean, that would have happened anyway.
No, not necessarily. It probably would have came up, but not in that particular fashion.
Meme?
Yeah, because
Man.
because he put it out there. He said, make a meme about this, or a caption, because he's trying to get hip and be with the youngsters and see they're making memes.
So he made a mistake.
Yeah, he definitely made a mistake
internet
by
has
doing
no
this.
chill.
The internet went ham on him, and he got cut, ate like bacon. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's kind of hard to say how it would have all got unraveled, because people were talking about it, and it's also, people were talking about it back then, but since I want to say like the past year or so, it's been a wave of this Me Too movement, of like people who have been sexually harassed, or women who are being taken advantage of because of, them being women in Hollywood and show business and stuff like that. So, I think with all this wave, the wave of women, standing up for themselves and stuff like that, especially with the Harvey Weinstein situation, I feel like it all came to, light, or it was easier to pinpoint.
Oh, absolutely.
Much easier to pinpoint someone,
Did you know that this is not the first time he tried to buy NBC? Did you know that? This is the second time, or the third time. He tried to buy NBC back in the 90s. And it was him along with a group of investors. But it was just, he was the famous one. So it was like, oh, Bill Cosby's trying to buy NBC. He's been trying to do this for years. And then his son got killed. So it's like, it's crazy. Like, and I just heard his daughter died too. I don't know anything about his daughter. I don't know anything about that whole situation. But it's like, man, all this dude's kids are dying. You know what I mean? And it's like, and there's so much controversy around the death of his son.
Yeah.
Just the police report, nothing adds up, So my whole thing is, we always, first of all, here's my thing. If the media is writing a script, they're writing what they want us to believe.
Right.
That's never the truth. If the media is saying ... ABC, then ABC is wrong. That's
right.
it's the media. The media is there. It's designed to brainwash us.
Right.
You know what I mean? They want us to have that herd mentality. They want us. It's like the media could say, "Oh, the Zika virus or Ebola is running rampant, and everybody's gonna start freaking out." And it's one case of it, and it's nothing, right? So that's kind of how I look at it. I'm to the point now where if there is a mainstream source telling me something,
Yeah.
I know it's wrong. And typically, it's the complete opposite of what they're telling me. That's just where I am at this point. I think it's a safer bet to just be like, believe the complete reverse first.
Right.
And then you need to prove what you're actually saying. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
You're guilty until proven innocent. You need to prove that what you're saying is true. And usually, you can't, because it's like, in order for me to prove that this news story is true, I would have to do investigation, and I'm not going to do. So I just assume it's fake.
Yeah. All this stuff is kind of hard though, because this all happened 30, 40 years ago. It's 2018 now. It's 2018.
Yeah.
This is crazy that, I mean, I would agree it's definitely a distraction, but what is it a distraction from?
I,
You know?
I don't know. I'm not that deep down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I was just like, 'cause I understand that it's all the distraction, or could it be like, maybe like a checkmate to say the powers that be are saying that whatever you want, we could take it away
Right.
immediately.
Just sending a message.
Yeah, so basically sending a message like, you want to try to do this? Okay, we'll let you try. But while you're trying to do this, we're going to hurt your reputation, turn the people against you, and then and tarnish your credibility in your legacy.
Right.
His legacy's tarnished.
Right.
Everything that he's done up to this point,
gone.
meaningless.
It's gone.
Kids say the darndest things. The Bill Cosby Show,
Yeah.
everything that he's done for the black community, well, this community, or just whatever.
The kids, college, and
That's just,
he's done so many good things.
he's done so many good things, and this one little thing,
It's all he'll be remembered by.
that's crazy.
It's sad, and that's the power that they have over us. That's actually why I stopped watching the news. Stopped watching the news a long time ago. You know what it was? I was I was listening to a story about ketchup. It was just random. At first, the story was like, "Oh, ketchup is bad. It causes the disease or whatever."
Yeah.
Then a couple months later, it just so happened, same news station, I see another story talking about how you're supposed to eat ketchup or tomatoes to like help with cancer or something. And at that point, I was probably like 17 years old, maybe 18. At that point, I realized, oh, this is all bull.
Yeah.
They say one thing one day, and then they'll wait a month or two, and then they'll say the opposite. And it's like, I'm not going to let them play me like this anymore. So it's a distraction. That is what I'm sure of. And it's sad that, his legacy is tarnished. And whether he did it or not,
he got convicted.
he got convicted, but how do you even convict somebody of something that they supposedly did 30 years ago, and it's all just not like hearsay? Mm-hmm. Like if I was raped by somebody, you're telling me that I can, or let's say I wasn't. Let's say I wasn't.
Yeah.
I could say, yeah, he raped me or whatever. This girl raped me or whatever. 30 years later, and get them convicted. Like, how do you prove that?
Yeah.
How do you prove 30 years later? There's no evidence. There's no DNA. There's nothing, right? And the legal system is supposed to be proven beyond reasonable doubt. Like you're supposed to be able to say, yeah, 100% he did it. If you can't say 100% he did it, you're not supposed to convict someone. So the justice system is messed up too, because it's like that's never held true.
Yeah. I don't know. I completely agree with you. It's like, and also I'm curious to know what they're going to do with the Harvey Weinstein guy, because his is more recent,
right,
over a period of time.
Right.
But his was more recent. I'm not sure when's the last time Bill Cosby quaaluded someone, or
I don't know. I didn't follow it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the last time that he has done that, or an accusation has been brought up. But the Harvey Weinstein guy, he was like one of the most powerful people in movies. He hasn't been convicted of anything. He hasn't been convicted of nothing. He's been like, yo, you can't do this. And people who invest in his company stepped away. The name of Harvey Weinstein or his film production company is tarnished, and no actors or no studios will work with him or anything like that to publish films. But he's not convicted. He's not in jail.
Right. And the story's not nearly as big.
Well, not as big anymore. Because it was big at one particular point in time, but at the moment, there's nothing being said about it.
Well, how long has the accusations for Bill Cosby, right? Like, did Bill Cosby's thing come out first?
It came out first for it came out for a minute, but it wasn't bubbling.
Right.
It was
Yeah,
it was just like, oh, Just like, a tornado hit last week or something like that.
Right.
It was just like,
we didn't really know. Nobody knew, and then women just kept coming out.
yeah. So I would say the wave of the Hannibal, when the comedian Hannibal Buress, he mentioned it, and then it started picking up waves of I want to say probably around the same time, but I want to say the Bill Cosby thing kind of hit first,
Right.
but then the Harvey Weinstein thing started picking up, and then but the thing is, regardless of what picked up wave first, Bill Cosby's thing was like 40 years ago. Harvey Weinstein thing was happening like I want to say like a year was happening for a while.
In recent.
And like recently, like in the millennium.
Right.
You know what I mean? The new millennium. So it's just like, but he's not convicted. Bill Cosby's already been convicted for something that happened like 40 years ago.
Right.
So it's just like the powers that be, are they putting down the black man? You know, to let the black man know, hey, you ain't, you know what I mean, you try to do this, we're going to put you in jail, charge your legacy and all that stuff. Meanwhile, old boy he's still a millionaire. The Harvey Weinstein guy, he's still a millionaire. He's still, is making, I'm not sure if he's still making money, but I'm sure that he's living fine. He just can't make films and stuff like that. Right. But as far as his legacy, I mean,
you know what? I Wikipedia updated Bill Cosby's Wikipedia, right?
Yeah.
But somebody was pointing out there was, can't remember, man. I probably shouldn't even brought it up. I can't remember. There was some lady who she did something awful. I can't remember what it was. But prior to us finding out this awful thing she had did, her Wikipedia was just all flowery. It was great. And then we find out she did something awful, and they didn't update her Wikipedia. They just took it down. They took her Wikipedia down, so you can't even research her anymore. But Bill Cosby's stuff is still up there, and they've just pretty much just tarnished it. But I mean, it's just, that's the game they play, the media.
And that sucks. I mean, but it's like, what do you do? How do you get into the position to change it? Because if you try to get in that position to, I guess, change the trajectory of how they project men or women of color who try to do things to help their community or to be in a position of power, they take it or they do things to tarnish your legacy and to hurt your name.
Right.
And then send you to jail. Bill Cosby gonna go to jail.
Yeah, he might.
He's going to die in jail.
Well, it's past the statute of limitation. So how many years are they giving him? I mean, how much time are they giving him?
He's going to get at least 30 years.
Are you serious?
Yep. Because it's for each count. I think it's like 3 counts.
That's insane.
For each count, it's 10 years.
So it's past the statute of limitations, and somehow he's still getting 30 years for each count. That's insane. That's insane. Are you serious? That
is ridiculous. Yeah.
Wow.
10 years for each count. It was like 3 counts. And so I'm not sure when they're going to, I guess, do the verdict or whatever.
Dude, that's insane. He's like, what, 80-something?
At least 90.
That's insane.
Like, he's like half blind or something like that.
Right. Dude, they destroyed him. So back to your question. How do you fix it? My thing is this. First of all, we've been taught all our life that
he's 80. Bill Cosby's 80. Go ahead.
He's 80. Okay. We've been taught all our life that life's not a game, right? It's been beat into our heads from day one as children. Life's not a game. This isn't a game. Blah blah blah. Now this goes back to what I said earlier. Everything we've been taught, especially from mainstream sources, you do the reverse, right? So if they teach you life's not a game, that means life is a game, right? So once you realize that life is a game, now you realize that there's players and there's pieces and there's ways to win and there's ways to lose. And when you understand the dynamics of this game, you can actually start playing it. Because if life is a game, let's say life really is a game and you don't realize it and you're not playing the game, you're always going to lose, right? Always. So I see life as a game, not in the sense that it's all fun and games, but as in the sense that there are people who will manipulate you like pieces of a game.
Right. That makes sense.
So in order to win at this game, once you understand that you're playing it, you've got to go outside. You got to color outside the lines. It's the only way. See, we think that in order to change, to enact change in this world, we got to become a president. We got to become, we have to own NBC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like we have to do these things that the public or the general idea that they paint to us is the only way to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? That's the game. You're working within the game at this point, right? So the only way to actually win is to color outside the lines. It's thinking outside the box. So me personally, my contribution to this is to help get people's minds right. Because, you think about Martin Luther King, you think about Malcolm X, you think about Marcus Garvey, you think about all these powerful individuals.
JFK.
Sure, JFK, who tried to enact change in the game, and they all got killed. Right. But if you approach it from a completely different point, right? I'm like, okay, well, forget trying to rally the people to enact change. How about I just get their mind right? Because you look at TV, you look at the food, you look at school, you look at the religions. Everything is designed to control your mind. Right. So how it only makes sense that if they're using tools to control the mind, if you're trying to fix this thing, we have to free the mind. We have to. You know what I mean? And my thing is, let's get people healthy first. If I can get people healthy on a large scale where they're thinking clearly, then they can see what's going on. Like the way I see the world now is so different. It's so incredibly different from 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Everything's fake to me. Like everything is fake. Like I can see through everything.
That is real, because there's this book. I can't remember if it was one of the Miguel Ruiz books, either the Four Agreements or was something else I was probably listening to by either Wayne Dyer. Something. This is a spiritual or a help motivation book. And they say the exact same thing as far as like everything. There's only things that are true. Everything else is false and fake. As far as like light in the world or like the moon is real because we can see that. And but the clothes and things that we create, all this stuff is fake and everything. So when you say that, it kind of touches on the point because it makes sense and it resonates with me pretty well. But go ahead.
Yeah. So we get people's minds right, get them healthy, and then at that point we say, now look at the world, look at what's going on in the world, and let's fix it. So it's a I don't know any great person in history who has taken that approach. Now that could be because the ones who haven't been mentioned, or it could just be because the movement, they didn't touch enough people, right? Because there's this thing called critical mass when you talk about like selling things or whatever. When an idea or a product or whatever hits critical mass, that's when it explodes.
Yeah.
So if the idea doesn't get big enough, right, to hit critical mass where it just takes on a life of its own, it doesn't have any effect. And it's crazy because critical mass is funny. Back in, this would have been early 2000s when I was in college, I was doing this business, Prepaid Legal, and we were talking about how cell phones hadn't yet hit critical mass, but yet it seemed like everybody had them.
Right.
So hitting critical mass, it's not a small number, it's a big number. So there's a lot of work ahead of me, but my goal is to get that idea out there. And now you can't kill an idea. Right? I mean, the powers that be, they want to control people. So you have to have people to control. You can't kill everybody.
Right.
And if you get the idea out there that, all you need to do is be healthy, live a healthy lifestyle, and that will keep your eyes open to the deception, you can't kill everybody. If everybody knows that's the reality, they've lost. You know what I mean? And so at that point in time, things like this won't happen. And then, my idea of the world that we should live in is a world that has freedom of creativity. That is the world that I believe that we should be living in.
So you're going to do Infinite Tsukiyomi. Like how Madara was trying to put the freaking shotgun on the freaking moon and put everyone under this spell so they can live their ideal life.
You literally just lost about 80% of people watching this.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's anime Naruto reference, But
No, I'm not. No, not at all. I mean, yes, in a sense, but doing it the right way.
But the thing is, okay, I mean, I understand that, and I'm with you. But how do you go about that? Like, what's the starting point to get out of what's happening now? Because you try to talk to people about the simplest things. You do the healthy alternative thing.
Right.
So you would have a better insight or a better understanding, or because like I work with people, or I have a person that I know who's overweight or unhealthy. Mm-hmm. And if I try to say things to get them on the right path, they'll hear, but they won't listen. Or they'll listen, but they won't hear me. Correct. Or they'll just be stuck in their ways of trying to they'll be like, nah, this is good. It tastes good. This is good. Or like, for instance, feeding into the news. You don't watch news. I don't watch the news. But my mom, that's all she watches from like 4 to 6. You watch channel 5, 9, 12 news. Yeah. You're literally just sitting there being programmed by everything that you're watching. Yeah. And how do you get people out of this system or like getting them out of their shell to doing something that they're used to doing? Because they'll fight against it, and they'll be like, oh, there's no way that this is true. Right. But this is everything that you're being fed. You're believing everything that you're being fed. So it's always going to be true to you. How do you get them out of that? Because people are stuck in their ways.
Absolutely. There's a group of people that are motivated to change already, and they don't know how. So when you ask me what's my first step is to help those people. I don't have the energy or time to convince one individual after another. Right. So I get enough of the people who already are looking for the change. And that's more than what I can handle you're talking hundreds of millions of people just who they want it. People like me and you who, if somebody brings this information, we get it. Like it clicks for us. Like we've been looking for it. So those are the people that I'm going to work with. And then from there, those people become lights, beacons, right? And let's just say that each one teaches one. Right. So let's say that I effectively teach 1 million people. Those 1 million people then go out and just teach one person each. Right. We've just doubled our numbers. And then those 2 million people go out and so on and so forth. So the reality is I can't do it by myself, and I have no desire to. I'm not trying to be a Marcus Garvey or anybody. They all end up dead. Right. But I'm going to help the people that I can help, the ones that already want this. Also, the other thing too is there's a group of people who just need the right motivation. Now, in a perfect world, the right motivation would just be purely the fact that somebody wants to live a healthier life. Like, that's just what they want. But reality is the neurotoxins and the things that are controlling our thoughts won't allow us to strive for that. So sometimes people are motivated by the fact that they got cancer. Sometimes people are motivated by the fact that they just watched their best friend die. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a large group of people. It's something like 50% of people in the United States are affected by cancer. Yeah. So whether it's you having cancer or somebody that it's like 50%, or it might even be higher than that now. You know what I mean? That's a great motivator. My foreman I was talking about earlier, his brother died from AIDS, right? And they all did drugs together. It was him and like 4 other people. So it was 6 people in this little clique, and they all did drugs together all the time. And 4 of them, or it was either 4 or 5 of them died. Right. And so after my foreman's brother died, he was like, I'm done with drugs. I'm done. Like, I'm watching my brother just fall apart, and he saw the pain and suffering. So he quit. He was done with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And sometimes things like that motivate people.
What kind of drugs were they doing?
They were in Vegas in the 90s. So what kind of drugs weren't they doing? They were doing the hard stuff, man. They were shooting up. They were doing everything. So that's how we do it, and it's a process. But here's the beauty of it. Up until the point where it changes, you won't see it coming. You won't see it coming because overnight, right? Let's just say, for example, there is 7 billion, 8 billion. Let's say there's 8 billion people in the world. At some point in time, 4 billion people are going to be on the right page, and 4 billion people aren't. So it's going to be 50-50.
Yeah.
And then the next day, that other 4 billion people will convert. Because all the 4 billion that believe are going to be talking to the 4 billion that don't. Each one teach one. And overnight, they're all going to convert. You know? So it's gonna seem like a struggle for a long time, and then all of a sudden, one day, just out of the blue, everybody's like, "Yeah, duh, of course, we shouldn't be eating meat, or of course we shouldn't be eating chemical foods, of course GMOs." Everybody knows that. It's common knowledge.
But how long is this gonna take?
It all depends, man.
Because I honestly, as optimistic as I am, and the people that I run into, it's rare. I know you attract the energy that you put out there.
Yeah.
And honestly, I believe that because I've been attracting people who are on the same wavelength as me. But it's just like, there's people that I work with and the people that I see that I mention this stuff to. I don't go deep. I just mention it. They look at me like I'm freaking, like I came to life from a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like I'm from freaking Cool World or something, if y'all know what that movie is. But it's just like, they look at me like I'm crazy or something, man.
Right.
So it's just like, and I'm like, I can see myself getting into an argument with people. And I'm just like, I'm not going to argue.
Right.
I'm not going to force you to believe something if, it's against what you believe. I can understand where you're coming from, but have an open mind to the new information.
Right.
Because if dude, I literally am I am the only one in my department of the company that I work for that they always say something funny towards me. But I can take a joke because they would tell me being vegetarian, healthy guy, or whatever, or because everyone, they have a headache.
Right.
Oh, I need some Advil. I need this Tylenol. I need something. I'm like, you don't need that.
Right.
You don't need this freaking medicine because this is not healing your problem. All this is doing is getting rid of that pain that you feel. It's not getting rid of the issue.
Right.
Because you'll technically still have the headache just without the pain.
Right.
And they're okay with that. But they're not worried about the side effects that they get from that medicine and that they're putting in their body and all that stuff. They have all these cautions that they put on the bottles and all that, but they don't care about that. They just want to get rid of that instant pain.
Right.
So it's just like, how do you freaking convince someone like you're taking this Tylenol, it's getting rid of this pain? It's not curing it. It's not curing it at all. It's just a freaking for the moment. I tell them, drink water. You're free. You have a headache. Drink water. I am drinking water. Drink more water.
Right.
Drink more. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm just like, listen, because this girl I'm talking to, she calls herself a half vegan.
You're missing that.
She says she's a half vegan.
What is a half vegan?
I mean, it's hilarious. I know she does it jokingly,
Right.
but I'm kind of thinking she's serious. But but I'm just like, you're not a half vegan. Cause she's on a vacation trip right now in Florida, and I was like, are you gonna be half vegan this weekend? And she's just like, nah, I ain't been on half vegan this weekend. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. But like I kicked it with her. She had a headache, and I was just like, drink water. Like it's just like I care about people,
Right.
and I want to see them, a step away from the typical solutions that people have for temporary pains. Like if you have this headache, if I have a headache, drink water because I know if I've been drinking enough water and stuff like that. But I can keep ranting on and on about that. It's just like, but I feel as if people, it's gonna be freaking hard, and I don't see it happening. Like within the next 50 years, I literally don't, because a lot of people are controlled by their devices, their, whatever they see, and all that stuff plays a part.
I think you got it wrong. Here's the thing. We talked about distraction earlier. What are we being distracted from? There is a consciousness that is spreading across the earth, and people are becoming aware of things at a very high rate now. Yeah,
I feel that.
So, you ask, well, what's the distraction for? It could be because of this consciousness that's going out, I am sensing it. Like, it's obvious to me. It's something that I've never felt before, ever.
Or could it be because you're on that path? That you've awakened and that you see things different than other people. That it's drawn to your attention more.
Well, the reality is both are true. Both are true. We our thoughts and our intentions create the reality around us. So yes, to both questions. And honestly, that's the beauty of it. Understanding that, yeah, because I'm conscious of it now, other people are conscious of it. And it goes back to that saying that you are the sum total of the 5 people that you spend your time with, right? So you just look at our situation with the people that we spend the majority of the time with, we're all successful at a similar rate. We all have similar energy, and we are all kind of, we don't deal. There's certain things we just don't deal with, right? Like there's certain things that we're not affected by, and we're all feeding off of each other's positive energy. And anybody who gets brought into our realm of positivity, they get the same benefits, right? So as more people become conscious of this, and we all are working towards getting healthier and understanding, what we're putting in our body and whatever, the more people we affect. The more people that are thinking about it, the more people we affect. So it's a rippling effect. And while, yeah, it seems far-fetched right now to see any real change, the reality is we have to go to education, right? Now, I'm not a big fan of schools because I think that the schools are teaching us the wrong things.
For real.
But education, I've always been a fan of. I've always been a fan of learning.
Right.
So if we can teach people that, yeah, the foods you consume are giving you the cancer, right? If the foods that you consume are giving you dementia, like the foods you consume or the shots you're taking or the pills, the medication you're taking, that's what's giving you the headaches. That's what's giving you all these diseases. If people really knew that, they would be like, okay. Because here's the thing. There's one camp that's saying it's safe, and there's one camp that's saying it's not safe. And people are like, well, this camp's saying it's safe, and I like cake, so I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah.
Right?
They will go with what they naturally want.
Right.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
once this camp shrinks to the size where it's like, oh no, these are the idiots over here. It's a couple people,
Yeah.
and the mass majority of people know that the foods. Then people won't be able to do that anymore because it'll literally be like, yeah, this cake is causing me cancer. Okay, not only am I not going to eat it, but I'm not going to make it anymore, right? The mass majority of people will be like, well, we're not going to manufacture these things for people to consume anymore. We're not even going to manufacture refined sugar anymore because we know it's the same as cocaine. You know what I mean? So at that point in time, it will almost be hard to eat bad because that food won't be available. Those products won't be available anymore. And, while I agree that, maybe in the next 50 years we won't see the type of change that I'm speaking about, but I think for sure in the next 100 years we could do it, for sure.
I'm optimistic, man.
I am too. I mean, I'm working every day.
I'm optimistic, and I can only do my part, but it's really hard. It's really like...
That's what she said.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, man. I just wish that a lot of people that I care about would just stop and listen.
Absolutely.
That's it, man. It's just like, why wait until a disease happens to stop something,
right,
or to want to have the will or power to do something when you can just live that life to prevent it from happening?
Once again, it goes back to the education. They don't know. They don't know that what they're doing is actually going to give them the disease. They don't know that for sure.
Okay, and then, if you educate them, how would that go? Like, I mean, obviously, would it be something that you put in a school? Because if you put it in a school that's open to the public, shut down immediately. I guarantee it. Because you know what they said about Sabi and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. You cure cancer and all that stuff. They'll figure out a way to shut you down because it's profit in people having diseases and stuff like that. There's profit in that, So if you teach someone, it would have to be a secret. It wouldn't have to be. It couldn't be anything that you put out there for the public to know about, because once the public hears about it and the powers that be hear about it, oh, you trying to help people the natural way and tell them things that are going against the products I'm selling that's making me billions of dollars? Shut that down. Like, how do you properly teach someone without your knowledge being, or being exiled by the powers that be,
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, obviously we live in the information age. So, and the beautiful thing about the internet is once it's out there, it's out there. Like once you put something on the internet, you can't get it off. No one can get it off. For example, there's a website called, I think, the Wayback Time Machine or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Someone could delete a page, a post, or whatever. You go to the Wayback Time Machine and you type in the date, and it has a copy of that page right there. Like, once something's on the internet, you can't get rid of it. If you know how computers work, hard drives and stuff, you can't wipe a hard drive. That's fake. That's not real. That's not how it works.
Right.
They're not all it's doing is it's hiding it from the computer.
Deeper somewhere.
That's all it's doing. It's just hiding. It's still on there. You could wipe a hard drive 7 times. If you have the right equipment, you can get that all of that data, you can get it back.
The only way you can get rid of it is to destroy it.
And because of the way the internet's set up, and you destroy the whole internet.
You're not going to destroy the internet.
You're not going to destroy the whole internet, right?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. Okay, great. But we're going to go back to the way our ancestors passed information, word of mouth. Even to this day, word of mouth is still the most effective way to send information. So how does that work? You have cancer. I tell you,
don't put that energy on me.
Don't put that
energy on me.
Gara has cancer.
All right.
And I tell Gara, I say, hey, Gara, all you got to do to get rid of your cancer is drink water, pure water, clean water. Get sunlight. Get 30 minutes of sunlight. Make sure you get some 30 minutes every day. Eat fresh fruits and vegetables, mainly fruits. Stop eating refined sugars, processed foods, meats, dairy products, etc. And within, 2 months, Gara's cancer's gone, right?
Yeah.
You're best friends with Gara. You're best friends with Gara, so he tells you, this is your best friend. You know him all your life. You know he's not going to lie to you, right?
Yeah.
So he says, yo, Mel, I had cancer. This guy told me all I needed to do was 1, 2, 3, and 4. I did 1, 2, 3, 4. My cancer is gone. Your eyes pop out your head. You're like, Gar, are you serious? It's like, dude, you saw me. You knew I was sick.
Right.
You were there when I got the diagnosis, right? So guess what? You're a believer, 100%. But because of the firsthand experience that your friend had. You know what I mean? Now you're a 100% believer. You know for a fact it works. And so the information then kind of just spreads like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So... that's probably the way it's gonna work.
I mean, we can only hope, and then put that energy out there.
I mean, it's gonna happen. I don't have any.
The thing is, I'm more of like, I want it to happen now. That's what I am.
Absolutely.
So I'm just like, yo, everybody out there, freaking listen. Just listen. Listen to the information that could possibly save your life, your friends' lives, and whoever's life. Because life is precious. Mm-hmm. People say life is short. I say life is precious. Cherish it. So do things in life so you can make sure you live it the longest that you can.
Yeah.
So just live that. You can still enjoy. You can have a nice little cheesecake every now and then. Or, you can slip up. No one's saying you have to be perfect every freaking day unless you're me, because I'm perfect and I wake up and piss excellence. But that's besides the point.
Wow.
So it's just like, go ahead and do things that. You see, I just kept that going. But, I think I care too much and I just want things to happen now. Because I'm tired of people, like, everyone in my department currently right now, sick. All you hear is, blowing nose and sneezing and coughing, and like one of the dudes that I work with, he's been off this entire week because of bronchitis or something.
Bronchitis, ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm just like, okay, but he's sitting next to me, but I'm fine.
You're fine.
And literally, the only time I ever get sick is because of them, because like maybe someone sits in my chair I'm unaware of, because there'll be some times where I come to my desk, my chair's moved. I can just, the way the levels are and the way it feels, I know someone's been in there. Or, someone touches my desk. I'm not aware of it. That's where I'm at, That's literally the only time I ever get sick. But I don't take medicine for it. I never take medicine. I have never in my life taken medicine. I'm against it. Well, you know what? I won't say life. Because, when you're a kid, they force you with needles.
Yeah, you're going to get them shots.
So, but since if it was ever within my power to control it, I would say since I was like 14, 15, I haven't taken any medicine. The closest thing I've came to medicine is cough drops. That's it. And that's because like one of my ex-girlfriends bought me some cough drops and I felt obligated to freaking eat them. But, other than that, no medicine. So just like, I just wish I wanted to happen now and it's not. So it kind of hurts.
Yeah, well, it's the microwave generation. You're a millennial, and we've been taught that
I'm a millennial.
You absolutely.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm a microwave generation, meaning I want things to happen now.
You want things to happen right now. That's what we've been taught.
No. That's how I feel.
Okay.
And you're saying that I feel like that because I've been taught that.
Yeah. Even if no one said you should want everything right now, look at society. Everything is right now. We've always gotten everything right now. You know what I mean? Look at credit cards. Credit cards is you ain't got the money, but you can have it right now. You know what I mean? The microwave itself is, well, it would take us about an hour to make this dinner, but you can have it right now if you use the microwave.
Okay,
it's everything is even the information. I mean, dude, when in the early 90s, right? In order to find out information, you'd have to go to the library, you'd have to get an encyclopedia, you'd have to go to a course or now we could just go on the internet. How old's Bill Cosby? I want to know right now. How old? Oh, he's 80. It's everything. So, that's just the world we live in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the reality is that is also part of the deception. They want us to feel like if we can't do it right now, there's no point.
Right.
Like, for example, let's say that the work I'm doing now, let's say it works, but not in my lifetime. But what I do today affects change.
That's that Tupac. That's Tupac right there, baby. That's Tupac. You know what I mean?
What I do today affects change in the next lifetime.
That's what Tupac said, man.
Should I not do it because I don't? No, of course you still do it. That's my alarm for work. It keeps going off. It's
just turn it off. Stop.
Well, here's the thing. I got several alarms.
Why?
Well,
you like to sleep. You're a heavy sleeper.
Well, I don't. These aren't sleep alarms. These are just, hey, make sure you get your lunch ready.
What time you gotta start?
I'll be rolling out. I got about 20 more minutes.
Okay, so we won't be getting to Kanye unless you want to get into it right now.
We can get into Kanye. We got enough time to get into Kanye.
Okay, I guess we'll wait for my other stuff. I guess we'll wait till the next.
I mean, that's how it is,
Yeah, okay. But anywho, okay, we had the healthy stuff, but I guess we'll get into the Kanye stuff. He had a slur of tweets since I won't say the past couple weeks. He had a slur of tweets where he was talking about being free and thinking free thinking,
mm-hmm.
and sending out love and stuff like that. Which I was like, okay, I'm with this. I'm with this, And then he started talking about loving Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Which is okay. You can love him. He's a human. Mm-hmm. But I think it hurts people a lot more is because of what Kanye stood for. Black empowerment and motivating, the black community and standing up for his community and stuff like that. So he had Donald Trump sign his hat and he supported it. And people were like, what are you doing? And then also he had some interactions with TMZ where he was talking about people or like slavery or people being in slavery for 400 years. It's like 400 years to me, that sounds like a choice, and then people from that point on were just like, yo,
they lost
you bugging.
Yeah, they lost.
How do you feel? What's your, how do you feel about that entire, from his tweets, from his rants and this free thinking to moving in love and having free thought to saying that the slavery for 400 years was a choice? What's your thoughts about that?
Okay. So just,
it's a lot to unpack.
It's a lot. Okay. And you gotta start at the beginning with Kanye because, Kanye is the dude who put out Jesus Walks and, you know what I mean? Like The thing about Kanye West is, first of all, I love freedom of thought. Freedom of thought falls right into what I spoke about earlier, freedom of creativity. It's all the same, right? So Kanye is, his wisdom is beyond your typical person's understanding. Mm-hmm. And what hurts Kanye is his execution.
Right.
That, like, people who think Kanye is stupid, they're not at the level of comprehension.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yep.
Kanye is not stupid.
Not at all.
But where he fails is his execution. So he's not perfect. And because of the type of mind I am, I get everything Kanye says.
I agree. I understand everything that he's talking about.
But by the same token, I can understand people's outrage because of how they perceive Kanye.
Yeah.
Right? So here's the thing. I don't have a problem with Kanye. Love is power and love is good and everything. Love everybody. I mean, that's a great message, and I think that's real. So sure, love Donald Trump. See, here's the thing. I'm not into politics. And people get upset with me because they feel like politics rules our life. Yeah. No, I rule my life, right? Politics only rules your life if you let it. Mm-hmm. That is not the head of my household. You know what I'm saying? So when Donald Trump says, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, okay, Donald, do whatever you want. You know what I mean? He's an entertainer. And that's what people don't understand. When you go to TV, you talk about TV. TV is programming, okay? TV is designed to program you. So you're out here, you're watching the news, you're watching Donald. He's an entertainer. He's always been, well, he's a businessman and an entertainer. Right. But he's at The Apprentice for 10 years or something? The Apprentice has been out for a long time, okay? So when he says something, and just to get you riled up or to get the ratings up, and you react, you're just giving him what he wants. You know what I mean? Now, Kanye saying that slavery was a choice. My thing is this. I'm on a completely different level when it comes to slavery. I'm not even in that same realm of thought. So when people say, oh, we were, as you know, black people, we were slaves for 400 years, I don't even believe that. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing research in our ancestry, in our true history, and let me tell you that it is muddled. They have done a very good job of teaching. First of all, it goes back to what I said earlier about whatever the mainstream is teaching me, I don't believe. Right? So they've been teaching us from day one that we were slaves. You had Amistad and you had
Kunta
Kinte roots, and you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's what they've been teaching us all this time. So I know that's wrong, you know? And then you look at the Atlantic slave trade, and you're talking about all these thousands of ships that are overcrowded, understaffed, coming across the Atlantic, and somehow they've transported all these hundreds of thousands of slaves safely here. It doesn't even make sense, you know? Like the whole story smells. It smells funny. And when you start doing research, independent research outside of what the history books teach you, you start finding out, man, there's some crazy stuff. Like, black people were already here.
Yeah.
Right? So then you start understanding that the idea of slavery, the way I'm not saying that we weren't in a position where we were being abused, taken advantage of. I'm not saying that. But the idea that we were Africans brought over here and made to pretty much build America, and we were okay with that. That is the truth that I don't believe. So it's a story that's not believable, but we all believe it. We've all been taught it from day one, and we don't do any research into it. So when Kanye says slavery sounds like a choice to me, well, yeah, it would have had to have been the way it was taught to us. What group of people would agree to be slaves for 400 years the way we've been taught black people were slaves? You're telling me that we weren't strong enough to fight back? Oh, their seasoning techniques were that good that we were just so insecure and so afraid of massa. Come on, man. As strong as the black people are, you're telling me that under those conditions that they teach us, that we allowed that to happen for 400 years? Do some research. Do some independent research. And you tell me that that story makes sense. So when I hear Kanye say that, I don't know where he's coming from as far as the research he's done.
Right.
But the correlation that I make is that he's saying that we're still slaves today. Mm-hmm. And it's a mental slavery.
Yeah.
And it's a choice because we allow the media and society and politics
to keep pushing this idea of us being slaves on us.
Well, yeah. I mean, even going to work every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Forget black people being slaves. People in America are slaves. You work 9 to 5 every single day. And what happens if you decide to not come into work for a week? You don't have the freedom to do that.
Right.
You have to ask permission to do that.
Right.
Right? And if they say, no, you can't, and you do it anyway, guess what? You don't have a job anymore. Well, you say, oh, well, I could just find another job. Sure, yeah, maybe, depending on the career path you've taken and, you know, where you are and the money you're making. Some people have the ability to just jump from job to job. Others, not so easy. Others feel trapped. You know why? Because you got bills. So you're slaves to your bills, right? Even if you own your stuff, right? You own your car, you own your house, you still pay taxes. Mm-hmm. You're never free, right? You pay taxes. If you have a property in the United States, you pay taxes on it, which means even if you grow your own food, they still got you. You need utilities, you need electricity, right? So you always got to have that job. You got to have that money. You have to have that income. We are slaves to money, right? So I don't know where he was coming from, but I can't be mad at him because now he's starting a conversation. He's created a platform for us to talk about this. Yeah. You know what I mean? And now maybe something that I said based on what Kanye said will spark someone to go and do research on the history that we've been taught about slavery. Right. I don't know.
That was insightful. Yeah. I didn't think about it from that point of view. I understood that.
Right.
But I didn't. As far as Kanye, how he got to his rant or his point of view, I felt as if he was referring to, at least is how I took it.
Yeah, tell me. I'm curious.
It's like how people, it's just like there's more slaves, or I guess according to what we've been taught, there's more slaves than there are, I guess, the people who are mastering them.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's just like, you let this happen for 400 years and didn't try to do anything. You know, it's just like, if we were doing something together and we were getting whipped, like, yo, I don't want to live like this. Why they get to live comfortable like this? Like, you would see it, you know, just like what's right, what's wrong, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel bad. You know, this isn't your lifestyle you want to live. So why not revolt? Right. And, you know, take over whatever. Right. You know, and I know some slaves have done that, but, you know, just giving in, like, what if they just didn't do the work that they were told to do? You know?
I mean, they'd be killed, according to the story.
Yeah. Yeah. But if they kill all the slaves, who's going to do the work?
Absolutely. But see, that's what they do. They try to make an example, right? They'll take the biggest, baddest, strongest guy, and they'll rape him, and they'll kill him, and they'll beat him. So it's like, well, if they're doing this to him, then what are they going to do to me? Right. You know what I mean? That's the story.
Yeah. And also, you have to take into account that, you know, when I think about the slavery situation, I think about, you ever heard that story about the elephant, the big old elephant? Like when when the elephant was a baby, they'll tie him to this tiny little tree, and you try to pull away, and he can't get away. You know, and this over time, he gets tied to this tree, and he tries to pull away, and he can't because he's a little baby elephant. Right. Then he grows up to be like this huge, big old elephant. Mm-hmm. But now he's still tied to the same little tree. He doesn't try to move because he's been programmed that way that no matter what he does, he's not going to be able to get away. So what's the point of even trying when it's not going to work? Right. So when it comes to that slave, it's like I think back about like the slavery part where this is all they know. They're like, if you were born into this and this is all you know, you think this is the way life is. You know, it's like how, you know, just when I grew up in the hood. You see people steal, rob, fight. That's all I know. So I think it's perfectly fine until I see people of my own, you know, doing things that are different. Like, yo, you don't get angry at this? This doesn't upset you? Like when people are talking crazy to you, your first reaction isn't to fight, my reaction was to fight.
Right.
But until I met people like you or other people that, were more sensible and stuff, like, oh, you don't necessarily have to fight every time someone, disagrees or gets
Right.
aggressive, just like the way you were brought up.
Right.
So if they were brought up like that as slaves, that's all they know. So for them, it's right to do this.
It's interesting.
So it's just like, it's so many different point of views you can look at it from. But what I feel Kanye was trying to get at, I mean, he did clear it up later and did say that he was talking about people being mentally enslaved, and, not having free thought and stuff like that. And all the information that they're receiving, it's being fed to them. Because, Kanye, he doesn't watch news or CNN or anything like that.
Right. Okay.
He doesn't do that.
Okay.
And so he's just basing everything off how he feels.
I got you.
Everything that he feels is action. And people, or because I've listened to a lot of freaking interviews about it. Since I'm a big fan of hip hop, it was big in the hip hop world.
Yeah.
They were talking about how he needs to have this information. He needs to know what he's talking about because the information that he's putting up there is affecting people's lives. You have people who listen to Kanye West music who are maybe Mexican or, of other cultures or other races. And Donald Trump, on the other end, he's condemned other races by putting fly bans and, he's, giving power to, white supremacists or people. I wouldn't call them white supremacists. Let's call them white devils. How about that?
Okay.
He's giving power to them or highlighted them, and he's always called other countries shitholes and stuff like that. And so it's just like people who support Kanye West music, they hear him support Donald Trump, and their families and stuff have been affected by his actions.
Right.
So they're just like, what the
Right.
hell,
I
Kanye?
got you.
Like, what's going on? And I understand that point of view. I completely understand that. But like you said before, his execution about what he's trying to say,
Yeah.
I feel like it's coming off like, it's like saying it in it's like how Porky Pig, how Porky Pig always have, he'll say like, that's the end, that's the end, that's the end. And then he'll say, that's all, folks. He completely changes what he's about to say, but so the meaning's interpreted differently. So it's just like, I get what he's trying to say, but or he could say it like the correspondence dinner when Barack Obama had like a translator, the Key and Peele guy who translated what he was really meaning.
That's
to
hilarious.
say.
He did that?
Yeah, Obama did it at a dinner.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the bald guy, I think that's
Yeah.
Peele, Jordan Peele. No,
Yeah.
Key. It's Key. The Key one. Just basically like he needs someone who can translate exactly what he's meaning, so he doesn't upset a lot of people. Because a lot of people trying to boycott his clothes.
Yeah, and there's music.
I'm just like, it's just like
our reaction to what Kanye says is it's too much.
it's way too much.
It's too much. Here's my thing, right? If you follow, Kanye is all about unity and creativity and you know what I mean. Like that, like, and everybody they're painting this picture of him like he's on drugs now. He's popping pills. He's just crazy. They cloned him. You know what I mean? He's hanging out with Donald Trump and it's like so he's like he's a different person now. No, he's not.
He's always been the same.
He's not a different person. He doesn't want anything bad for us or for the nation or whatever. He's not like trying to stir up violence or anything. So come on, give him a break. He's a human being. He makes mistakes just like anybody else. Everybody knows Kanye doesn't think he doesn't process his words well. And when he says something, it's like, you didn't really think that through well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows that's classic Kanye.
This is the guy who said George Bush doesn't like black people.
Yeah, it's like, come on, give him a break, man. Why don't you? And people do the same thing to me sometimes on my channel. I'll say something that they don't agree with based on the education that they received or what they believe to be true. And instead of asking me for clarification, they will instantly condemn me. As if I'm an idiot or as if I'm making something up or as if I'm trying to hurt people. And it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, why don't you take a half a second to have a conversation with me? And instead of saying, you're an idiot for saying this, why don't you say, hey, man, what you said was odd to me, right? Like, why did you say that? What prompted you to say that? Or what information do you have to back up what it is you said?
Right.
And that's just the problem with people on the internet.
Yeah, it's like instead of having an open mind to it, they just react. Mm-hmm. It's more of a reactory emotion versus trying to get an understanding of what they're trying to say.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to understand what Kanye. You want what he said to be what he said and what he felt and what he thought, because it's more drama. It's like, it's more exciting. Oh, Kanye said 400 years of slavery was a choice. He crazy. What's wrong with Kanye? They cloned him. Like, they want that to be that's what the conversation is.
Yeah.
That's what people want it to be.
Yeah.
Versus being like, yo, Kanye, so you're saying that you believe that the people who were enslaved 400 years ago, you feel like they chose to be enslaved? Like, is that what you're saying? Right? Like, you know.
And I mean, to I guess go a bit deeper, because I know you're running out of time. The what I feel, I guess it's more on the conspiracy side of things. Mm-hmm. But what I feel is that I feel like something's happening. I'm not sure what, but I feel as if the world, or sort of how someone's reputation, sort of like how Bill Cosby, his reputation, he's doing good, doing well, but then this one thing happens and it slanders his reputation for good. But granted, I don't feel like the hip hop community is giving up on him like that. But I feel like since he's spoken out, George Bush doesn't care about black people. He said that on the news. Unexpected.
Live.
You know what I mean? And then like that Myers dude was like, and then it went to Chris Tucker. But it's just like, I feel as if he's under control. No, not under control like a mind, but I feel like he's in a position of being controlled. Sort of like how Michael Jackson and, I feel like he has to do things or say certain things.
Okay, I got what you.
I feel like because his mom died. Mm-hmm. His mom died from a cosmetic surgery or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that thing that happened to his mom is very important because it's still affecting him now. He was super close with his mom.
Right.
So what do you do to people who are in a position of power? Mm-hmm. You do things to, like, oh, you want to talk about this? Bye-bye. Kill your mom. Mm-hmm. And now what we're doing now is like putting him in a position that, like, instead of understanding him, the media will put it out there like he supports Donald Trump when he never, ever said that. Right. All he said was that that's his boy. He likes Donald Trump because he went against what people said he couldn't do.
Right.
Donald Trump was never into politics. Right. He was a billionaire, an entertainer, and he said he's going to run for president, and that's what he wants to do.
Right.
And he did it. That's what Kanye he likes about him.
Right.
He never said that he supports any of it because he doesn't even know his policy.
Right. He doesn't know it.
He doesn't know anything like that. He just likes that particular point. So I don't know. I feel like it's deeper than what we're seeing, but everything that we're hearing or being told is just like, I wish people have a more open mind to the information.
Yeah.
Because I honestly feel that he's a genius. I feel that he's a genius at everything that he's done. Music, he took it to a whole nother level. He elevated music. Fashion. He's elevated the world as far as fashion. People who work with him are now the heads of other high-level fashion companies like Louis V.
Yeah.
People that's around his circle that help design his clothes. He helped elevate. Well, them being in a position working with him are now the head of a Louis Vuitton or something like that. So it's just like everything that he's done, he's already always excelled at it, and I feel like he's getting to a good point, but I feel like he needs to execute it as well. And I do understand where people are coming from and how they are hurt and how they feel betrayed and let down or feel like he's not representing the black community. Also, I understand that, but I also have an open mind to look at him like, I know what he's trying to say. I'm not sure if it's just me having hope, but he's never came across as someone who doesn't care about his people. He's never came across as that. He may seem self-centered at times and a douchebag, but that's just who he made songs like, let's give a toast to the douchebag, let's have a toast for the assholes. He's made songs like that. That's because it's part of his personality. But I also feel as if he's being misunderstood and being condemned before he's given a chance to properly explain himself. Granted, he's been going on these freaking tweets. Like, he's tweeting every freaking day. Like, I can probably go to his Twitter right now, and he's probably tweeted something that's been retweeted, Yeah. And I think people also didn't like that President Trump said, that's cool or something like that. Thanks, Kanye.
Right.
So, because even Chance the Rapper came to Kanye's defense.
Right.
Until Donald Trump said, he said something like Kanye West and Chance the Rapper are helping the black community or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Chance the Rapper was like, you know what, y'all, my bad. You know what I mean? Because anything that Donald Trump does, he doesn't want to be a part of that.
No, of course.
No one who supports the black community thing that wants to be a part of that. But,
here's the thing about the black community, all right? We're always looking for a leader. We're always looking for someone else to fix the problems in our world. And that's because that's what we've been taught. Look at history. You look at the leaders, the black leaders in history, right? Yeah. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier. The change starts with the individual. It's a grassroots movement. We don't need Kanye West to speak for us.
He's a rapper.
I mean, regardless, even if he was the president, we don't need anyone to speak for us. And the reality is, everybody is so busy and waiting for this savior, leader to come and fix everything that you're forgetting that all the power lies with you.
Right here, baby.
Right? So you have more power to enact change than Kanye will ever have. You know what I'm saying? And until we realize that, we're going to be looking for somebody to, so yeah, of course they're upset that Kanye said that, because Kanye doesn't represent the views of our people well anymore. Okay, well, how do you represent the views of your people?
Right.
What are you doing in your life, right? What example are you to your children, to your colleagues, to your community that's showing how we feel, right? Like, if you're, as an individual, if you're not doing the things that you expect these leaders to be doing, and you're not saying the things that, you know what I'm saying, then how can you ever say anything about them? Like, a good leader knows the way, shows the way, but most importantly goes the way, right? We all got to be leaders. Everybody has to be a leader, and we all got to go the way. Whatever way that is. I mean, we just want freedom. And everybody has a different form of freedom they want. I think the way we can express it all collectively is freedom of creativity. I think that covers, it covers all the bases. But we all just want freedom. People just want to live.
Yeah.
Go to work if that's part of your freedom. Go to work, make the money you want, drive the car you want, have a wife and some kids or husband, family, whatever, whatever it is. And so at the end of the day, why am I talking to you about Kanye, right? When what I should be doing is creating the reality that I want in my life, outside of Kanye, outside of Trump, outside of Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where our focus is in the wrong place.
I agree. I completely 100% agree with you, and I wish more people also thought that way, because they give so much power to Kanye. I was just thinking, like, what if it was just a normal rapper that wasn't on the scale of Kanye, like maybe a Fetty Wap or something like that? What if he said all this stuff? Would people be up in arms and protesting music and stuff like that? And, it's just like, why is it this one particular man up in power, or they're giving him this platform of control? So, but anywho, I mean, that stuff, it's all interesting. We can keep going deeper and deeper into it. I know you got to get ready to go to work, so we can continue this later You know what I mean? Not probably not tonight, but or tonight. I mean, whatever.
At a later time.
Yeah,
I mean, whatever.
At
Matter.
a later time. But I know you gotta get ready to work. But this has been a nice little good conversation that we had. Yeah, man. A lot of this stuff I will definitely reflect on. There's other stuff I do want to touch on that ties in to a lot of stuff that we've been talking about today.
Yeah,
which is why
part two.
which is why I said remember the word distraction. Actually what I'm talking about is have you seen the video by Childish Gambino?
I have not watched it all the way through. I just saw a snippet.
Watch it. That's what I want to talk about.
All right, so I'll watch it, and then maybe we could talk about it either tonight or tomorrow. We'll do a part 2.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I want to talk about. But yeah, this has been the Animated Sage Thoughts podcast with me, Mel, and my homie over there, Chris.
Sage.
Yep, Sage, and and yeah, man, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you beautiful people next time, and hope you enjoyed our voices. All right, peace and love.
I don't understand this. I talk about everything. I'm knowledgeable about everything. No, I don't know everything about every individual.